Hello, good morning. We are about to start our morning news reading session. Thank you for joining us. We are about to start our morning news reading session in just a bit. I'm going to make sure that the screen is zoomed in properly. Hopefully everyone can see the screen. And apologies in advance if it's a little too zoomed out. See if this works. Alright, I think that will do for now. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our morning news reading session. We will be looking at a few news articles, hopefully some interesting ones. And let's see, maybe we can have a look at the headline news over here. Okay. All right, let's start with our first news article. Singapore's third quarter employment growth more than doubles. Retrenchments fall from previous quarter. Singapore. The number of Singapore residents with jobs picked up in the third quarter of this year as employment growth more than doubled and retrenchments fell. Singapore's total employment growth in the July to September period jumped to 24,100 from 11,300 in the second quarter. According to the preliminary labor market data released on October 29, the Ministry of Manpower (MOM) said the pickup in growth came from both residents, Singaporeans and PRs, as well as non-residents. Sorry if it's a little too small. I'll try to zoom in a bit more, if I can adjust the screen correctly. Just going to zoom in a bit more. Hopefully that works better. All right, let's continue if we can. Little more adjustments here and there. La-di-da. Okay, hope for the best. So, the Ministry of Manpower (MOM) said the pickup in growth came from both residents, Singaporeans and PRs, as well as non-residents. Meanwhile, the number of retrenchments in the third quarter fell 11.3% to 2,900 from 3,270 in the second quarter. MOM noted these retrenchment figures decreased or remained stable across sectors. Corporate restructuring remained the top reason for retrenchments. The ministry also found that the unemployment rates across the board remained low in September. The unemployment rate of Singaporeans and residents remained unchanged at 2.7% and 2.6% respectively for July, August, and September. The overall rate fell from 1.9% for both July and August to 1.8% in September. The figures fall within the range reflected in the non-recessionary years of 2015 to 2019, MOM said. While there was a decline in hiring and wage expectations among companies for the fourth quarter of 2024, reflecting ongoing uncertainty in export-oriented sectors, we expect employment to continue to expand in the next quarter and the labor market to remain tight, it said. This outlook is supported by an upward revision of the GDP, gross domestic gross d- domestic product growth forecast. Gosh, this outlook is supported by an upward revision to the GDP, gross domestic product growth forecast, and anticipated year-end hiring for the festive period. The preliminary data reflected that the increase in growth sectors for resident workers was driven by a steady supply of quality jobs and favorable employment prospects for resident workers. Growth sectors include those in the information and communications, professional services, and health and social services. While slight resident employment declines were observed in food and beverage services and retail trade, we anticipate resident employment in these sectors to pick up in the final quarter of the year as businesses typically increase hiring in preparation for the festive season, MOM said. It said that non-resident employment growth It said that non-resident employment growth came from work permit holders working in non-PMT, professional, managerial, executive, and technical roles, such as those in construction, manufacturing, and administrative and support services. There are generally not enough resident workers for such roles, and businesses need to bring in work permit holders to meet the manpower shortage, said the ministry, adding that employment among higher skilled pass types was stable over the same period. And that was a quick headline news for today. Perhaps you'll look for something uh, more interesting. Maybe we could look at this and see what this is about. Seems interesting. Okay, we will start in a bit. Just a quick little break. All right. On to our next article. MRT sticker aunties make children smile during morning commute. Singapore. Among the children who take a train at Stadium MRT station, Madam Ayati Hassan and Madam Mafadina Muhammad Nosi are known as the sticker aunties. For over a year now, the two women have been at the train station daily, armed with a pouch of stickers to hand out to children. As SMRT train service ambassadors, they keep a keen eye out for commuters who may need assistance, especially crying children who, be, who could be in a sour mood over having to go to school in the morning. Among the stickers they give out are those of popular cartoon characters, including Pokemon and Pororo, an animated penguin, and other stuff that children like, such as buses, trucks, and animals, including fishes. They had noticed the children who frequent the station in the morning tend to be from foreign countries, most likely because of the international schools in the area. So they decided to do something nice to make them feel welcome. We initially thought of giving sweets or chocolates to make them happy, but people are not allowed to eat in MRT stations, said Madam Ayati, 57, uh, 57, who has been working for 3 years at Stadium MRT station. They settled on giving the children stickers instead, which they bought from e-commerce platform Shopee using their own money since they were not expensive. It took some time for the children to warm up to them, said Madam Mafadina, 46, who has been working as a service ambassador for 6 years. One of them is 3-year-old Alexander Ian Amor, who was initially hesitant about approaching them, the woman said. It took a few weeks of befriending him before he was eventually won over by a sticker of a fire truck, said his mother, Eleanor Amor, 41, who takes Alexander to preschool every weekday. Now, her toddler will run towards the two women excitedly so he can pick another sticker, said Miss Amor, who is from Russia. Miss Amor, who has lived in Singapore for 16 years and works in the financial sector, said Alexander would decorate his stroller with the stickers. It is beautiful when people express genuine kindness without expecting anything in return, just out of love for children, she said. Madame Ayati said she knows the children will grow up eventually, move elsewhere, or visit the station less frequently, but for now, she is happy to put a smile on their faces every day. So here are the MRT sticker aunties working at the Stadium MRT station, handing out stickers to kids. So that's a nice little feel-good story to start the morning with. We will look for other news, maybe more headlines, and hopefully can find something interesting. Still looking for some light-hearted, nice news, I suppose. There's a lot of politics stuff. Okay, I suppose we can maybe read some tech news, I suppose. So, some tech news. Apple rolls out AI features across devices. San Francisco. Apple on October 28 rolled out its first set of artificial intelligence AI features, dubbed Apple Intelligence, across its premium iPhone, iPad, and Mac devices, marking the tech giant's major push into generative AI. The release, first previewed by the company in June, marks Apple's foray into an AI race that has seen the US tech giants rush into ChatGPT style technology. Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and Apple are convinced that generative AI's powers are the next chapter of computing and have ramped up spending so as not to be left behind. Apple Intelligence is generative AI in a way that only Apple can deliver, and we're incredibly excited about its ability to enrich our users' lives, Apple Chief Executive Tim Cook said in a blog post. Apple's new features include enhanced writing tools, improved photo searching capabilities, and a more conversational Siri virtual assistant. The company also plans to integrate ChatGPT's capabilities into its services by December. Additional features planned for December include the ability to generate custom emoji and create images from text descriptions. The features are largely being limited to the latest iPhones and iPads as well as Mac computers. The powers of Apple Intelligence are for now only available in US English. Versions in Chinese, French, German, Italian, Spanish, Korean, and other languages will be released in the coming year. At the launch event in June, Apple had postponed the launch of Apple Intelligence in the European Union indefinitely due to regulatory uncertainties linked to new laws. It now said that the it now said that most offerings will be available in the EU on Mac computers in US English and will begin to be deployed on iPhones and iPads from April. Apple Intelligence features also include system-wide writing tools that can rewrite and proofread text and the ability to remove unwanted objects from images. Overall, the features are similar to tools recently released by Meta, Microsoft, and Google. Amid concerns about the safety of AI models, the company said that its technology prioritizes user privacy by keeping processing on the device or by using a new private cloud system. This company says it will keep personal data within the Apple ecosystem, which privileges data privacy. Apple also unveiled a new desktop computer, the iMac, on Monday that features Apple Intelligence. And so that's the latest in tech news. All right, let's look at other stuff. Maybe there's some interesting news elsewhere. Let's look at Asia. Hum, hum, hum. Okay. Uh, Gaming firms? No. Okay, I guess we could start with this. More news from our neighbors. So, yes, following up on our weekend news, Malaysia's NS 3.0. Parents and potential trainees fret over safety, academics, and bullying. Petaling Jaya. With 65 days to go until the National Service Training Program, PLKN 3.0 officially commences in Malaysia after a 7-year hiatus, Parents say that safety and security in the campus must be prioritized. They called on the authorities to ensure safe training environments, gender segregation with protection and safeguards for girls, strict food hygiene, and stressed the need for reasonable training due to past incidents of harassment and fatalities. Datin Nur Azima Abdul Rahim, the Parent Action Group for Education chairman, has voiced concerns regarding PLKN 3.0, particularly involving safety, youth development, and timing. There are ongoing worries regarding safety, Ms. Nur Azima said. The government needs to address and rectify challenges in the previous versions of PLKN 1.0 and PLKN 2.0, she added. It's important to overcome past issues to ensure a secure environment for all participants. Ms. Noor Azima also expressed skepticism about the benefits of PLKN 3.0 for youth development, especially in the absence of an impact study on the previous training programs. Despite having organized PLKN 1.0 and PLKN 2.0, a comprehensive impact study has not been conducted to evaluate the effectiveness, she said. She also raised concerns about the timing of the program, suggesting that students should prioritize their education. We do not see the benefit of partaking in the program early, she said. Malacca Action Group for Parents in Education Chairman Mak Chi Kin said the government should address the concerns of parents regarding PLKN 3.0 by outlining specific measures or standard operating procedure in case of emergencies. Some parents are worried, given previous incidents of bullying, sexual harassment, sickness, and food hygiene problems at different training camps, said Mr. Mark. To allay these issues, it would be good if the government can inform us about the measures being taken, he said. He highlighted issues such as catering for dietary needs and preventing bullying as examples that require clear government action. While the new version of PLKN focuses on racial integration and instilling patriotism rather than building a reserve force, he said such efforts, if carried out through activities and sports, would make them more achievable. Mr. Mark also expressed concerns that previous editions of PLKN faced numerous unresolved issues, such as selecting the appropriate age group, whether participation should be voluntary or compulsory, and addressing food safety and hygiene issues. The government must be very clear about the purpose, he said, adding that there must be a well-defined strategy to ensure the program's success. A mother of three sons from Ipoh, who only wants to be known as Madam Mok, said it is important for the camp authorities to have a set of guidelines that deal with every possible situation based on previous experiences. We want to know what steps they will take, for example, excuse me, when a trainee suddenly faints or is not feeling well during the duration of the training, she said. What will they do and who will be accountable? Will there be CCTV installed in training camps? She added. These measures will be useful if there is any untoward incident, said the 48-year-old single mother who is still hesitant to let her youngest son join PLKN 3.0. Mr. Borhan Faisal, a 43-year-old from Malacca with twin daughters, said safety and security are his top concerns. My girls are 16 and they might be selected. Can they go to the same camp? Are we allowed to enter and assess the situation inside the camp? He said. I support national integration activities, but I also have my reservations. Some potential participants have also expressed anxiety, skepticism, and concern. Carmen Lai, 17, from Yongpeng, Johor, says she is anxious about being thrust into a new environment without friends while juggling the demands of national service training. What if I can't cope physically and end up getting bullied? Said Carmen, who is about to further her studies in a foundation course in a university. I want to make new friends, but I'm also scared because there will be so many people. Similarly, a 16-year-old who wanted to be known only as Husseini urged the authorities to schedule the training after students have completed their schooling. Let us prepare for our exams first, he said, highlighting the importance of allowing students to focus on their studies. Mr. Adam J. 20 said he is not interested in the program, doubting its effectiveness, and likening it to a summer camp with numerous issues. This is not real Army Reserves training. Camps like this can be petty because they may involve those who don't want to be there, he said. Can also be a waste of public funds. I prefer to join Askar Watinia. It keeps me fit and I can make many friends from other races. For 17-year-old Abby, the prospect of being drafted brings fear, especially given past reports of bullying and fatalities. I have heard stories about participants being bullied. I am a bit worried if it involves military training. I'm not sure if I can handle it, she said. College student Hamza Ahmad, 18, from Shah Alam, has mixed feelings based on his cousin's experience. But despite concerns over poor camp conditions and health issues, he remains eager due to his fondness for camping and meeting new friends. But I don't want to go if the camp conditions are bad, he said. On a more positive note, Miss Melinda Ellie, a parent, shared her experience of sending her youngest daughter to a previous program. There will be hiccups as usual, but my youngest girl had a good experience overall, Miss Ellie said. Despite the challenges and being away from home for the first time, she found a few good friends, learned about discipline, and enjoyed herself, she added. She came back a more mature and learned person. I think she gained much more than what we can be taught in the classroom. Miss Ellie said she had no regrets about allowing her daughter to join PLKN. I hope PLKN's revival will succeed, as it is a good initiative, she said. I hope the government addresses parents' concerns and enhances the program to ensure it meets its aspirations and safety aspects. And so that is our news, neighbor news for the day. So we will take a short break and continue with our morning news reading in a short while. Okay, welcome back. We are doing our morning news reading today, so we will look for some light-hearted news. Um, Perhaps something that is interesting. I suppose we could probably just hit the headlines again. Nothing particularly interesting so far. So here we go again. Oil spill occurs off Changi on October 28 during bunkering operation. An oil spill took place off Changi on October 28 during a bunkering operation between a Bahamas flagged bulk carrier and a licensed bunker tanker. In a statement sent in the wee hours of October 29, the Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore (MPA) said the incident reportedly occurred at 5:40 p.m. and the bunkering operation ceased immediately. According to information found on the agency's website, bunkering is the process of supplying fuels to ships for their own use, and Singapore is one of the largest and most important bunkering ports in the world. MPA said its craft arrived at the scene of the incident at around 5:50 p.m. and sprayed dispersants. Dispersants are chemicals that break up oil into small droplets, which can be mixed with water. There is no impact on navigation or traffic, and relevant government agencies have been alerted to keep a lookout for oil sightings along local shores, said the agency. In response to media queries, MPA said oil which overflowed during a bunkering operation from the receiving Bahamas flagged bulk carrier Ines Corrado had stopped. The carrier was headed towards Tianjin, China, according to a check done by the Straits Times on global ship tracking website Marine Traffic. An estimated 5 tons of oil was reported to have overflowed. As at 8 a.m. this morning, there is no oil sighted at sea in the vicinity of the incident and ashore, MPA said, adding that the Malaysian authorities have also been alerted to keep a lookout for oil sightings. MPA said it is investigating the matter. It said that as a precaution, a current buster has been deployed off Changi to recover oil on water if sighted. A current buster system towed by 2 vessels goes to affected areas to collect contaminated seawater and sieves out oil through a pump for skimmers to collect. It can collect up to 50 cubic meters of oil at a time. This is the third incident involving an oil leak or spill in Singapore waters since June. On June 14, several beaches in Singapore were affected by a major oil spill after one boat hit another vessel at Pasir Panjang terminal. About 400 tons of fuel leaked into the sea then. The oil spread to the coastlines of East Coast Park, Labrador Nature Reserve, Keppel Bay, and Southern Islands and Sentosa. Water activities at affected beaches was suspended for more than 2 months as the areas were being cleaned up. On October 20, 30, on October 20, 30 to 40 tons of slop, a mix of oil and water, leaked from a land-based pipeline belonging to British petrochemical giants Shell between Bukom Island and Bukom Kesil into the sea. 9 government agencies worked with Shell in the cleanup effort. As a precaution, the national agency advised people against taking part in water activities such as swimming near the beaches of East Coast Park, Kusu Island, St. John's Island, and Lazarus Island. The advisory was lifted on October 25th. Okay, I think that's about the news here. Maybe we could look at let's see if this is interesting. Not a lot of interesting news today. Perhaps we can look under the live section, see if there's anything. Here you go. I suppose we could check this out. Okay, we're reading Straits Times for the morning news, and let's look at our next article. Solve a murder at a secret location in Crack the Case Red, an artful murder. Oh, I have to log in for this. Okay, just a moment while we try to log in. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Just a moment while I figure out how to log in to this thing. Okay, and then just log in here. And hopefully we can access the article. There we go. Okay, let's start the next one. Singapore, the first mystery for Red, an artful murder, is the location of the enterprise. The interactive murder mystery is keeping its venue under wraps, and ticket holders will find out only after making their purchase. The third installment in the successful Crack the Case series by Sightlines Entertainment is again scripted and directed by rising theatre powerhouse Krish Natarajan. He says, the thing about site specific work is that the location really has to drive it. With this one, I thought an art gallery was a very adaptable space. Anything can be in an art gallery, so it makes sense. Each show in the Crack the Case series offers Natarajan the opportunity to play with different tones and ideas. Mindhunter in November 2023 was dark and psychological, while Backstage Betrayal in April leaned into being comical and dramatic. Blending the two, Red and Artful Murder puts participants in an exaggeratedly snooty world of highbrow artists which offers moments for humor. The fun thing about this one is that it plays on previous experiences of Crack the Case and how we can subvert or play into them. Kind of like reverse psychology with the audiences, Natarajan says. The interactive show includes three suspects: performance artist Ashley Champion, Ariel Jasmine Van Julian, renowned avant-garde artist Joshua Lim, and digital artist Joy Ropes, Fahim Murshid, who holds the record for Singapore's most expensive non-fungible token (NFT). Fans who have followed previous interactive murder mysteries by Natarajan may also recognize a familiar face in John Cancio, reprising his role as Detective Jimothy from Murder Mystery, a novel homicide, with entertainment discovery platform Fever in April 2023. Van Julian debuted in Singapore Repertory Theatre's 2022 The Almighty Sometimes, with a performance that earned her Best Actress in the Straits Times Live Theatre Awards. Oh, what the yikes. Since then, she has juggled working behind the scenes as a stage manager and acting. The 22-year-old says, I had a lot of goals as an actor. One was to be in 10 shows by this point in time, and the other was to work with Krish. He's my senior from Lazelle College of the Arts, and everyone, including teachers, had very good things to say about him. The work he does is so innovative and fresh, so when he reached out, it was an easy yes. Having built her career playing serious roles, Red is an opportunity to challenge herself and expand her skills. Van Julian says doing the deep, intense stuff connects me to the human experience and expands my empathy. But it is also a lot to carry and process. On the other hand, doing comedic things and exploring a whole other avenue of things I can come up with while playing like a kid is more light and fun. The interactive show is half scripted and half improvised. The rehearsal process included improvisation exercises like switching scenes on command and answering potential audience questions in character. Natarajan, also the scriptwriter and director for the Straits Times and the Business Times annual charity concert Child Aid 2024, works closely with the cast to ensure careful word choice as well. He says, there are so many times there are clues that people pick up that are not intentional, but they kind of piece together the correct answer with the different tools they find because everything confirms what they see. That's my favorite part, hearing the theories from the audience. Kanchio chimes in, I call that a red salmon, when it's like a red herring but not. Bukit or Crack the Case Red and Artful Murder. Where? Kallang, Aljunied area. When? October 30th to December 1st, 8 p.m. from Wednesdays to Fridays, 2, December 2, 4:30 and 8 p.m. on weekends and public holidays, closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. Mission $88 for Sun Experience and $128 for VIP Experience. For more info, you can look up this article, Solve a Murder at a Secret Location in Crack the Case, Read an Artful Murder. So we will take a short break as we continue to hunt for interesting articles. Hello, welcome back to our morning news reading session, and we are probably going to read one or two more articles. I suppose we could read this one. Okay, welcome back to our morning news reading session. Michelin-starred Thai street food cook J5 hints at retirement. Bangkok. A Thai cook who became the first Bangkok street food vendor to earn a coveted Michelin star has said she plans to retire, possibly as early as 2025. J5 shot to international fame in 2018 when the dining guide honored her humble street side restaurant in its first Bangkok edition. Tourists from around the world wait in 3-hour queues to sample J5's legendary crab meat omelette, always sizzled up by the owner herself over blazing coals, wearing her signature ski goggles to protect her eyes from sparks. It's pretty amazing. The 81-year-old Thai media outlet Komchatluet, the 81-year-old told Thai media outlet Komchatluet that the toll of sourcing and checking ingredients every day was becoming too much. I will not keep the restaurant going, but I am glad to teach whoever wants my recipe, she said in the interview, a video of which posted online on October 27. She said she had not decided on when exactly to step down, but said it could be next year. Though classed as street food, Though classed as street food, dishes from the open kitchen at J5's eponymous restaurant in Old Bangkok are not cheap. The signature crab omelette costs around $40, which is the equivalent of 52 Sing dollars and 90 cents. So that was a very, very short article. Perhaps we will continue with one more here. Okay, I suppose this will be our last article for the morning. It's another short one. All these articles are really short. Anyway, maybe we'll look for something slightly longer. Oh, these articles are all pretty short. Trying to find something that's a little more substantial. Uh, okay, I guess we can probably do this one for the last article. Here we go. Government looking at ways to better support people with disabilities into adulthood, PM Wong. Singapore. After graduating from special education SPED schools at 18, people with disabilities sometimes find it difficult to secure a job even though they want to work. That is why the government is looking at how to help them make a smoother transition to the workforce. And for those who want to continue their education to do so, said Prime Minister Lawrence Wong on October 28. The authorities are also studying how to provide more help for their caregivers amid shrinking family sizes and an aging population, he added. Speaking at a dinner to mark the 60th anniversary of Disability Charity SPD, PM Wong said more needs to be done to help those with disabilities realize their full potential and lead independent lives, even as Singapore has achieved much in building a more inclusive society. Smaller families than in the past means fewer people to share the burden of care, while the aging population means caregivers have to prepare for changing needs as they and their loved ones with disabilities grow older, he added. That's why we are studying how we can give more help to caregivers and persons with disabilities to enable them to plan for their needs, goals, and aspirations, and to update these plans as their life stages and family circumstances change, he said, at an event at Pan Pacific Singapore. We are also looking at ways to enhance and extend the range of support to enable persons with disabilities to continue to live independently in the community. PM Wong also elaborated on the work being done on other fronts to better support those with disabilities, such as in early intervention and with SPED educators, employers, and parents. For instance, the number of sports and government-funded early intervention programs is being raised to provide timely intervention to more children, while more opportunities are being created to deepen the professional skills and capabilities of SPED educators. Efforts to support inclusive hiring by employers through grants and recognition have raised the employment rate of persons with disabilities from about 28% 5 years ago to 33% today, noted PM Wong. Meanwhile, a pilot was launched recently to raise the skills and knowledge of parents of 2-3-year-olds with developmental needs, he added. Singapore is aiming to raise the employment rate of people with disabilities from 30% to 40% by 2030. And a task force looking at ways to reach this goal announced its recommendations in a report on September 16. Among its recommendations are for such people to tap gig work as a stepping stone to join the workforce, to expand the pool of inclusive employers in sectors such as retail trade, information and communications, as well as transport and storage. It also recommended having up to 250 individuals join a pilot known as the Enabled Living Program from 2025 to 2028, where they will live in a cluster of housing board rental flats or be supported in their own homes. These adults with disabilities will receive support to live independently in the community alongside coaching in social skills, care support for daily living activities, and on-site monitoring. PM Wong noted that when SPD was founded in 1964 as a Society for Aid to the Paralyzed, its original mission was to help those with physical disabilities find jobs. Over the years, it expanded its services beyond employment support, such as giving out scholarships and bursaries and helping people with disabilities acquire new skills and access more opportunities at work, he noted. SPD President Ong Tun Hui said the early 2000s saw a sharp increase in young children diagnosed with developmental disabilities due to improved parental screening and early diagnosis. The social service agency responded to the then pressing need for services by entering the pediatric space, investing heavily in early intervention to cater to these children, she added. With around 11,000 beneficiaries every year, SPD is today one of the largest social service agencies here and also a pan-disability organization serving individuals across a broad spectrum of disabilities at various life stages, said Ms. Ong. On October 28, PM Wong said tribute to SPD's contributions to Singapore's various enabling master plans and the charity's willingness throughout its 60-year journey to try new approaches in supporting persons with disabilities. For instance, SPD piloted the first enabling services in Tampines in 2023 with community activities for people with disabilities and peer support networks and respite care services for caregivers. As the first provider of this new service, there were naturally teething issues and hurdles, she said. But SPD adapted and refined its approaches, and this paved the way for more hubs in other parts of Singapore. However, a truly inclusive Singapore cannot be achieved by the government and community organizations like SPD alone, said PM Wong, who called for everyone in society to play a part. Together, let us build a society that embraces everyone as respected and valued members of society, a society and a Singapore where we can all realize our dreams and be the best possible versions of ourselves, he said. And that is all for the morning news reading. Please join us later today at 2:30 p.m. for more live teaching sessions. Thank you so much. That is